area. He emerged victoriously with 9,963 votes out of 13,164 valid votes cast, with Michael Osibu of the NPP with 2,998 votes. The MP Fred Kwesi Agbenyo reiterated government's plan of reconstructing and giving facelifts to roads in the Guan constituency, in particular, and the Oti region, under the Big Push program.
There's no single road here that we can point to that, for this one is motorable. You can hit and come. If you're coming from Hawkway, for instance, towards Sandra Kofi Benoit, just about 6 kilometers, it's been like that for only God knows how long. And I'm sure you use your car on the rest, you saw the state of it. The good news is that that road has been captured under the Big Push arrangement. It's part of the Eastern Corridor. And we have gone personally to see the contractor a number of times. I've spoken to the minister in charge of the road sector, and he has assured me that the road has been awarded, and they are putting documentation together for the contractor to move on the road. Much the same way, the road from Hawkway through Lolobi to Old Bayoka, Akpafu, Adoko, to Bododa to Jasikai, that one too has been awarded under the Big Push, and the contractor has been selected already. My expectation is that within the next 2 or 3 weeks, the contractor should move on that particular road and start working on it. Then the road from Lolobi Kumase through Lolobi Hiansem, Lolobi Agbozome to Likpe Matu, the capital, that one too has been captured. And so contractor should be back on that road very soon. Then the road from Hawkway to Likpe Bakwa, we share the boundary with the Hawkway municipality. And so they will do to a certain stage, and they will complete the other side. That road too has been captured. What we intend to do now, from Sandogo Fi Bodome to Akpafu Mempasem to Akpafu Odomi, we intend to get that road back on track. And also Odomi Junction to Township, it's about 1 kilometer. And so if you add the inner town roads together, that will be about roughly 2 kilometers. The same thing with Mempasem and Bodome. So once we get these roads fixed up, we are almost set. Now, one other major road we have a problem with is from Old Bayoka to Lekpe Abran and Lekpe Okurantumi. That road too, we are discussing with that roads. They've given the assurance that they want to capture it. Because one of the things I did is that the past 1 month, I brought feeder roads and neighbor roads, regional engineers here. They went around all the communities, surveyed all of our roads, and they've prepared the document. The total number of kilometers we have in all 62 kilometers of roads, and they've done the costing and everything. So that is the document I'm using now. I've gone to feeder roads, I've gone to urban roads, I've gone to highways, I've gone to the ministry, and we've shown the document to them. And as I said, most of the roads have been captured. Now, the road that is outstanding is a road from Likpe Abrani through Likpe Kofrodia back to Likpe Agbozome or Lolobi Kumase. These are the 2 roads that are outstanding now that we are still pushing very hard that contractor comes to work on. It was a road that was awarded under the Cocoa Roads project in the first NDC administration. But as soon as we left office in 2017, project abandoned, and that is why it is in the state in which it is now. So I believe that once a new contractor comes in and starts working, we should be able to see the road infrastructure coming up. I've visited every community, I've visited every educational infrastructure we have in the area. In some cases, it's so terrible when you go and see where our children are studying, and preparing for BEC examination. I'm told when I engaged the director of education that for the past 5-6 years, our best results in BEC examination has been 19% on the average. That's the result we get from BEC, which is not good at all. This last exam that they wrote, I think the best I get that we got in the whole district, about get 21. And so you get there, the classroom, the blocks are simply not there. They are studying under trees, they are studying under very, unacceptable structures. And so when the rain starts, for instance, the kids definitely have to run to their home. Teachers have to find cover. And so I have written to get fund that we need to get this infrastructure back. Sandogo Fi Bodome Basic School, we need a complete 6 classroom block over there. Sandogo Fi Bume, they have done very well. The community server I speak to you right now, they are even putting up a crèche on their own. They are cutting money, whatever support I can give as an MP, I am also giving it to them. If you go to Sandogo Fi Benoit, we also need a complete 6 classroom block over there. In fact, the last time it rained, the entire roof came off. And so when you go there right now, it's not a place that you want to call a school where students can learn. Now, Lulubi Ashambi also have a major problem. Just last week, we had to donate some roofing sheets for them so they can at least hold it for now. But the whole agenda is for us to have at least, because they have a student population close to 700. So if you can even get a 12-unit classroom, that will take care of the basic, from the crèche all the way to JSS. I've written to get fund. I'll still follow up and make sure that we do that. Lolobi Kumasi have a major problem with their EP school. As I speak to you now, very, very old building that is there. We have supported the community with some cement. The community members themselves contributed money, and so we are plastering and try to, give some facelifts. But again, we will need a 6 classroom unit to be able to accommodate the number of students that we have. Lobby here, the school too is not in good state at all. So what is happening currently is that because the classrooms are few, we are up to class 6. So when a student finishes class 6, they have to go GSS. They now have to come to the Lobby Kumasi to be able to access GSS. And look at the distance from here, Sem to Kumasi. It's not an easy thing. And so you see these children in the morning walking up and down at the scorching sun and at the mercy of the rains and all that. It's not a healthy thing. So our intention now is to give them a 6 classroom block where they can also start their own JSS from that area. Now you come to the Akwafu area, currently as we speak, Akwafu EPGSS, there's a Get Fund project that is going on. Our expectation is that the contractor will speed it up very quickly so we can get that one running. In the area of health, there's very little that the community people can do. They have done what they could do all these many years. Now we need government intervention. They even have a national health insurance. I have written to them to come and open a new office. We have gotten a building that will serve as an office for them. And so once they move in, I'm sure it will help us. Our people like to find they are very hardworking, but they need support to be able to do it. I'm happy Governor has spoken about this mechanization center. Akwafu Domain has given us a place that want to set up that center where all the farm implements will be available. And so once you have a parcel of land you want to work on, they will come and measure. They give you the implements to come and work on the farm. They even give you the seedlings and everything. When you produce and you sell, then we can buy it off you. I've gotten people who want to assist us to train people who want to go into fish farming. We are targeting to start with about 100 people. If we get about 65, 70 ladies, that'll be fine. And then 30, 35 guys, that'll be fine. We look at the ages between 18 and 35. So the NGO will come, they will train them, then we'll give them the cages that they will use. Then as an MP, I'll go for the fingerlings and the feed. Then we can start that process. In the coming days, we'll be training people in how to add value to most of the agricultural produce, i.e. cassava, plantain that we produce in large quantity, how we can add value to it so it doesn't rot away in the forest. I'm encouraging people to go into coconut plantation as well. The thing is, majority of the people here depends on cocoa a lot, cocoa farming. And so when the season passed, then it becomes a bit challenge. What then would they feed on? And so we are trying to encourage them that whilst you are doing your cocoa farm, you can rear some goats, you can rear some sheep, you can have a poultry farm. I have engaged with the Minister of Agric. He has given assurance that they are going to assist us with this Nkukor Nketenkete project, that almost every household must have their own pen. They are keeping some nkukor over there as well, while they continue with their normal farming activities. At least you can get one cell, you can get one kill to feed your family. So all these things are being looked at. I can only pray for patience. I can only pray for support and encouragement and prayer. And I believe that with the Lord in the boat, we will be able to sail through smoothly.
The residents called on Honorable Fred Kwesi Agbenyo, the Member of Parliament for the area, to fulfill his promise of delivering transformative development, improving healthcare, education, job creation, improved agricultural and road infrastructure in the area.
Our challenges are many, but most importantly, education is what is our priority. First of all, we thank the government for coming up to complete the building behind us. It is a Get Fund project. Unfortunately, when government changed hands somewhere in 2016, it was abandoned. But luckily, when the new government came into power, contractor came to site to do the finishing works. However, the other challenge we have as a community is the lack of teachers. They just are not available. The very few ones who are there are either combining 2 or 3 classes, and that is not helping us, and it's not helping the children as well. What we have done as a community is to look for our young people who have completed SHS, Polytechnic, or university, and they are within the community. We call them, we appeal to them to come in as a stopgap to take care of the children as people teachers, actually. So they are now, some of them agreed, and they are now helping our young ones to just engage them in the absence of the professional teachers. Because of that, we are appealing to Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education. We have reported to the District Education Directorate, and as usual, the usual bureaucracy. It has to move from district to the region, from the region to Accra. And for us, it is appearing the chain is getting too long. So we are once again appealing to government to come into our aid. The teachers should come and come quick to help solve the teacher-student challenges. Today we are talking of ICT, technology. We have EP primary here, basic school, and then we have DA at Kapopo. All of them put together, they have about 400 students. And there is no ICT center or a computer lab. We're appealing to the government. We also want to bridge that gap between Odomi, Akpafu, and Accra, Tema, Kumasi, and so on and so forth. So please, come into our aid with a modern ICT lab. Yes, let me take this opportunity and also appeal to the NGOs, benevolent organizations, individuals. You are hearing us, come to Odomi and help us with ICT lab. Water is another issue. Yes, we have some potable water, but the community is fast developing, and we need to extend potable water to those areas so that diseases will not be disturbing us, especially pregnant women and the children. Another major concern or constraint for us is the extension of electricity. The community now is fast developing such that the new area now is far more or bigger than the old town. So we are appealing to the government in that regard to help us extend power to the newly developing areas, so that when power is there, people will put up some local businesses, and that will also help in terms of employment. This is actually the building being used at the moment as the clinic or a CHIPS compound operational center. This building is actually a community center, but because of health issues within the community decided to give it out to be used as a health facility. So we are appealing to the government to come and give us a properly constructed CHIPS zone or health facility for the nurses and the midwives to be able to work in a very good environment, to be able to take care of our health needs within the community. Building on my right, now it is Rabos. It's the old GHS school block, right to the far end. And this is where I attended Akpafu-Odomi LA GHS. Those of us, or those who are watching me and they are coming from Odomi, Akpafu, they will know this block. The then middle school, and then we came in with the GHS, and now this is the system we have. It got to a point that we couldn't continue using it as classroom blocks. So government came in to support, to put up the building behind us, or behind me. That one is now serving as the GHS block. The one to my left is the primary block 1 to 6. And then to my right, teachers block, made up of 3 rooms, accommodating 3 teachers out of 13. So most of them are coming from Hohwe to come and teach.
The Member of Parliament for the area said plans are far advanced to bring development to the people of the Guan constituency and the district as a whole. Honorable Agbenyo appealed to residents of the area who are well-to-do to partner government to bring development to the people.
I've engaged the minister who has assured me that they will try and make some equipment available so that we can put them where we are now. And as and when the budget is released, we'll see how we can put up some buildings to be able to accommodate all these health institutions. So I believe government will come to our aid very soon. As is often said, Rome was not built one day. And so we'll continue to knock at their doors, continue to knock at the doors of NGOs and all well-meaning Ghanaians. Anybody out there who is watching this interview, we start. Who said, Fred, maybe I have some 2 or 3, 5 computers out there. Please pass by and pick them for any of the schools. I'll be glad to come and pick it. If anybody says we have a hospital bed somewhere, please come. We have 2 beds, we have 3 beds. We'll come and pick it. Anything that we can use, disposables at the hospital, if you offer, we'll be happy. Anybody who said, well, Fred, we want to farm, can you get us some land? We'll gladly make some land available. Our target is to do more of animal husbandry, going to fishing, going to even snail rearing and all those things. And so anybody who is interested, who want to come, we can partner them and see what we can do.
This is Diana Lordin Forcing from the Guan district in the Oti region.
As cultural identity is unique and symbolic to countries and people around the world, so are symbols. This is to say that the value, uniqueness, and significance of the Adinkra symbols to Ghana's culture cannot be overemphasized. The tradition of Ghanaian Adinkra symbols is a fascinating aspect of the rich cultural tapestry of Ghana. These symbols, which are deeply embedded in the history and daily life of the Akan people, offer a unique glimpse into the values, beliefs, and philosophies that have shaped Ghana's culture for centuries. As part of the Heritage Month celebration, the documentary team visited the Ibri Craft Village to acquaint ourselves with the meanings and significance of some of the Adinkra symbols.
Heritage Month, na I was say, yana GTV4, Ishiana, Yashusha, Niamabia, Efa. Yan Ghana, Yamana, and Yamamre. 2 years, na your person can be kakra of a Adinkra symbols. If you baby, now so I can't for Anna, Naya, a Jama, as I say, a friend Cote d'Ivoire, Memo, and Efi, Abidu, or my Ghana, and ne, Yadasukremi. Tetamarana, a Diasa, a Diosia Anang. And as 64. Now, so Mre Equanimo, a Adisuafo, and so Ayebi, Abacama, my sister Broha. Now it's more than 100. Symbol way of Reno, Yamanehene. I'm not sure say, I am for baby, we are say. Now, so you Yamibia, Pong Canadian, our friend in Yankopon, or None or Hena, Odimupa. Near Etosia being of Reno or Dot. And you refuse quite. Love never loses its way home. And also, a Adinkra symbol, a chair or bra obi, a war, Emma obi. When Jinyame Ghana yan symbols in Yina, no, we are seeing now, be a name, a jedin, a such say, accept God. We are handful. Now what a day did you man? I say, what are they? CSC or home and a baby, and as I him fee, pa, and until ma a query. What did he say? Oh, to me, or bambo, Nancy Yankopon, elbow, senior mano, in Yinaso to me, as in one. Some way, painting into which I didn't papa. It didn't the Funtumuriku,
denche miracle. Fantafone say funtum funefu denche funefu. Aye adanche mabie a won yefunu bom. Ase kire ne say wo ya aka so won yefunu bom. Ano e kire say ubetuma beto won a wo kontokwa nanso they are together.
The story of Adinkra symbols is said to have begun in the early 19th century with the Ashanti people, a prominent ethnic group within the Akan community. According to oral tradition, the use of Adinkra symbols can be traced back to a conflict between Asantemain and the Jamain people, who lived in what is now modern-day Côte d'Ivoire. The Jamain king, Nana Kwadwo Agyeman Adinkra, was defeated by the Ashantis, and it is said that the Ashantis adopted the symbols from the Jamain people as a form of tribute to their fallen king. So, this move led to the Ashanti people adopting the Adinkra symbols.
Yaka Adinkra Ashansode, and as Adinkra symbols, a year Ashansudibia Yenanum, now what they communicate, and as what did the Inkitaho. Na Eshas Ache in the 17th century, and Eshas, what Shas say we use Adinkra symbols at the Adinkitaho. Inti Kanuna Obroni alphabets ABCD ne Abede na Eniho. Nanso Yananum Ewo Okwanga no Faso, that would to me communicate with each other. And inti yake Adinkra symbol in general no ashenso there na wogina so e de communicate na say what to nkra ama afoforo eshase in the 17th century na apahini bi na binum nipa bebre esusu say eye Kofi Adinkra the din Kofi Adinkra ono na odi Adinkra symbol ebaye nanso abakosem ekire yen se na Adinkra no ewo ho ayedi di djuma ansa na Kofi Adinkra ebaye na ono no yobi a na oye otonfo osan ye ohene ewo bia bia France German na German no ye akanfo ebra wo migrate free North Africa na se Mali Songa Empire wo mo ba no omu descend by no yemu chiche bonofo efa baabi akuapemfo fa baabi asantefo fa baabi na Germanfo nso efa baabi na Kofi Adinkra no ayobi a no fi German memu ana se state aye France German ewo no ahafo hono na oyo ohene no sanye otonfo ntino na ode Adinkra no edijuma bebre ewo na anwene anase ne eniamaye bebre mu eniti santehene sabre no santehene na owoso no Kofi Adinkra ekofa golden stool no na o replicate anase oye no fufuro na golden stool no se adibia santefumu no anase asante amamre mu no enya de a wodidi agore kura wonfa ndi agore eninti Kofi Adinkra no duplicate anase oye ne seso se ono nso odebedi ne djuma na sante hene bufuwe ni bufuwe no osman mo kofa Kofi Adinkra ebai na ebeye okokese eda asante ene German states no entem na ne ekoba ne se Kofi Adinkra no abakwasem ni bi kire se asante hene ema woyi ne fi ho na asante hene ema Adinkra symbol na Kofi Adinkra de djuma na se sadia odi di ne djuma fa no oma ne nkrofo efa bi wo mu na won o kire won sadia wodi Adinkra no ebedi djuma na mfaso abaso ama asanteman eninti eka Adinkra history ɛnyɛ Kofi Adinkra ankasa na ɔde Adinkra symbols no ɛbaeɛ. Na mmom Adinkra symbols no wɔ hɔ dedaw ansa na Kofi Adinkra ɛba. Na ɔno de ɔbɛsakra mu ɔde bɛdi dwuma bi sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ne trade anaasɛ ne tomfo adwuma na ɔyɛ no watumi ayɛ na wayɛ ne yɛ.
It is evident that the Dinkra symbols are more than just decorative motifs. They are visual representations of complex ideas and concepts. Each symbol carries a specific meaning, often derived from proverbs, historical events, human behavior, or elements of the natural world. For instance, the symbol Jinyami, which translates to "except God," signifies the omnipotence and omnipresence of a higher power. Another well-known symbol, Sankofa, meaning "go back and get it," emphasizes the importance of learning from the past to build a better future. The Dinkrahini symbol, which stands for leadership and charisma, is another key element in the Dinkra lexicon. Often represented by a series of concentric circles, a Dinkrahini signifies the qualities of a good leader, someone who is not only influential, but also compassionate and wise. This symbol is frequently used in contexts related to governance and community leadership, serving as a benchmark for those in positions of authority. Transitioning to symbols that emphasize social values, Fahudie stands out. Fahudie means independence or freedom. It is a symbol of emancipation and self-reliance, and reflects the Akan people's historical struggles for freedom and their enduring spirit of independence. Fahudie is often used in political and social movements, resonating with those who advocate for human rights and justice.
The Adinkra symbols put together are so significant socially and politically for a country such as Ghana. First and foremost, we learn from history that it was during one war between the Ashantis and the German people that the Ashantis discovered the king of German, Nana Adinkra, wearing a type of cloth which contained those symbols. The Ashantis brought the cloth to their palace and then they multiplied it, duplicated it many times, and today the symbols have become almost identified with the country called Ghana. Now, seriously learning the symbols, you will see that they represent everyday life, like unity, conflict resolution, the greatness of God, his omnipotence, love, and so many other things, power, all this show or point to the fact that our ancestors, led by the Bono people, and indeed the Akans developed from the Bonos, developed that system as a form of writing, just as ancient Egyptians also had hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics was able to develop to its optimum simply because the Egyptian civilization thrived for thousands of years. In the case of Ghana, and for that matter, Africa, we had that unfortunate situation whereby for a period of 350 years, Europe took many young people between the ages of 13 and 28 to the Americas. So it meant that the elderly people who were the repository of the knowledge had nobody to transmit the wisdom or the civilization to. As a result of this break, Adinkra could not develop to the level of being broken down into alphabets. Luckily, we have been able to maintain them as they are, and we have to preserve them as a way of telling Europe and the rest of the world that Africa was already civilized before they came here. Another significant thing about Adinkra is the fact that today, from the north to the south, Adinkra has become a national symbol So it gives us a single identity. Imagining something emanating from the Bono people, now idolized by Ewes, idolized by Northerners, Ashantis, and Zima people, Ahantes, Seshis, everybody. So I believe that it is good. It brings us together as one people with a common destiny. And then lastly, I would say that it gives us an opportunity to speak by way of oral tradition without the need to explain so many things. So, for example, if you see the very common one among them, the Jinyame symbol, you don't need a book as big as the Bible to tell you that the Ghanaian knew God before the advent of the white man. And if you see the one with the symbol of a bird with the beak looking backwards, just to tell you that if you forget initially and you remember going back to it, it's not a taboo. So you wouldn't need a big book to say that, just a form of pictorial representation, then the African story is told. This is wonderful, it's perfect. All in all, President Mahama had a message for Ghana and the rest of the world. It's a way of speaking to the whole nation that he is an African president, and the symbols in it, one of them showing Ojai Mbembe, symbolizing humility and strength at the same time. And then the Sankofa one, the final Sankofa, Yenchi, meaning that for himself, whatever he did, that Ghanaians felt good, and for that matter, had made them to vote for him, he will go back to it. At the same time, it has a meaning that whatever he did, which was not good, he will be ready to go and do the good ones.
In addition to these, the Duefie symbol represents beauty and cleanliness. It holds a special place in the Ghanaian culture. Shaped like a wooden comb, Duefie underscores the importance of personal grooming and aesthetics. However, its meaning goes beyond physical appearance to signify the virtues of good character and inner beauty. This symbol is commonly found in context related to personal care and well-being. Moreover, the Nyaminte symbol, meaning God's grace, highlights the Akan people's reliance on divine providence. It serves as a reminder that all achievements and successes are ultimately due to God's grace. This symbol is often used in expressions of gratitude and thanksgiving, reinforcing the community's spiritual connection. As we explore these symbols, it becomes evident that Adinkra is not just an art form, but a profound means of communication. Each symbol encapsulates a piece of wisdom or a moral lesson, making them integral to the cultural identity of the Akan people. They are used in various aspects of daily life, from clothing and textiles to architecture and pottery, serving as constant reminders of the values and principles that guide the community. These symbols served as a form of nonverbal communication, conveying wisdom and moral lessons that have been passed down from generations. The use of Adinkra symbols extends beyond their historical and philosophical significance. Traditionally, they were used in the creation of the Adinkra cloth, a hand-printed fabric worn during important ceremonies and rituals, such as funerals and festivals. The process of making the Adinkra cloth involves stamping the symbols on the fabric using carved calabash stamps and a special dye made from the bark of the badi tree. This labor-intensive process not only showcases the artistic skills of the craftsmen, but also underscores the cultural importance of the symbols themselves.
What makes Adinkra very powerful is, one, it helps you transcend space. This means that if I have this written down, I can send this Sankofa 1,000 miles all the way across the continent, and someone who knows how to read it, they will see it and they will understand. So Sankofa, Yenchi. So I've transcended space. I'm still here, but my thoughts, my ideas, my message has transcended space. They also help us transcend time. This means that something that someone has carved 200 years ago, that was their idea. They carved it in that way. And now me, I'm just being born. I'm coming to learn. And then I see it. This means that their ideas, all of the things that they encoded for me, I can now decode that, I can unravel it, and I can understand this, and it can have an impact on my life right now. And it also it helps you transcend matter. So my physical body is going to go back to the earth. It will become part of Asasiya at some point. But even after that, my ideas, right? This is the idea that you can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea. My ideas, if I've encoded them through the Adinkra, then my ideas can transcend the matter. So our writing systems, specifically Adinkra, they help us to transcend space, they help us to transcend time, and they help us to transcend matter. And that's why our languages, our writing systems, and Adinkra, that's why it matters.
In contemporary Ghana, Adinkra symbols have transcended their traditional uses and can be found in various aspects of daily life. They are commonly seen in architecture, jewelry, pottery, and even corporate logos. This widespread adoption of the Adinkra symbols speaks to their enduring relevance and adaptability in a rapidly changing world. Moreover, they have become a source of national pride, symbolizing the resilience and creativity of the Ghanaian people. Some artisans and craftsmen at the Ibri Crafts Village expressed concern about low patronage and urged the general public to patronize made-in-Ghana wares to boost local businesses.
Yeah, crafts. Obaha, yeah, sisegwa, yatontaje, emia bebre waha, yeah, mia yabaha chekakra. Eya merema ejuma merema na be start na mia nso aba be ka ho. Mia no ye ejuma no. Ejuma eboa yen. Ye de hwe ye ma. Ye bibia wo meno na ye di bi ye bibia. Ejuma eboa yen. Ejuma eboa yen. Ye ndin akwa akiri. Na emom de wo mu ne say nyama kakra ho challenges kakra wo ho na ye besre. Say government betimi aboa yen. Ana say impo NGOs bia. Because first na ejuma na ekoso pa inua ti say bia nua akesise. Enyuma na kese no oba no obeto a wotime de kọ abrochi ba sese no akwai say oba no obeto a woso wontime nkọ wodu airport a duty ene ne yekeka ho ni nti na ema wontime fa nkọ nti ama ejuma na kọfom nti ye besre so we government betime ya hu bibia ma yen anka ebeboa yen because eno a na ye de bibia e wo ha ye ndi nsu akọ akiri na ne ameka ne say ye wo Ghana mantimu yi misre Ghana fo first na ejuma na brofo nkwa na eto ba sese ye Ghana nyama bebre wo ha nti obia omra Ibri Craft Village no me patronize ye woni ahene a ye de gu yensa ebi na mikrai atade ni nyina ye wo ha emi atade merema atade nyama bebre wo ho mpo nyama betimi de asiesie fie obetimi de asiesie dan mu e wo ho a obetimi ato nti me stress obia amra obi atwam a omra no me tobi na emu aye
bosumi a ye wo mu ye bosumi a ye kai nea eye Ghana fo yankasa ya mamre ene nea ye de yensa aye a edem fasode ebre yen na ama ye ma ne ye mama nso ababenyamu faso yen Ibri Craft Village ha oba ha ye wo enioma ahoro bebre aye de yensa ana aye a edem faso bebre abre Ghana man ene ye oman ahoro bebre atwa ye ho ahia yen adwuma ayeye no esan say yen sa no dwuma nti ama obiara owa ha nimbribi ye emme a ewa ha eye bribi emerema eye bribi nampo emfaso a efiri mu ba no enye yen a ye wa ha nko ana ye nyamu mfaso ansa na yen adwuma no ye be hya ase na ebedi mu no enipa bebre enso ede wo ho hyem ansa na ye adwuma no edi mu yansa na ye be ko even ye adwuma ye be hya ase aye ye adwuma no ye ko bush ansa na ye ko no operators wom drivers wom ansa na adwuma ndua no ba bedu ha ye be hya ase se ye de ye adwuma no eye okwan ahuru bebre ne ye fa so ntie ye ne nipa ahuru bebre na eye yen adwuma we eye yen ankasa ye nde enyi yen koto mfi baabi na yen koye mfi baabi yen a ne yaye eni nti bosumi eye yen anije se ye twe ya adwene gina so se yen ankasa yen bosumi ni eye yen de yen hwehwe akiri kwan ni yen agya wato ye akiri yen konkofa ni eye yen ankasa yen amamre yen sankofa emra ni eye yen ankasa yen sanu ade yen mohu ban na yɛma ɛnsɔ yɛn ani anaasɛ yɛn ani nye ho yɛwɔ nneɛma a sɛ wodu Aburikra village ha sɛ wopɛ sɛ wobɛtɔ de atu kwan a wobɛnya wopɛ sɛ wobɛtɔ de asiesie wo fie a wobɛnya wopɛ sɛ wode bɔ wankasa wo dan mu a wobɛnya nneɛma ahorow bebree ana ɛwɔ ha no ma yɛhwɛ kwan sɛ Ghanafoɔ yɛbɛma yɛn ankasa yɛn ani agye yɛn nneɛma ho efimra a yɛhyɛ adwumadie ase no yehu sɛ ayɛ mfasodeɛ pii ama mmerante ne mmabaa bebree ma enipa bi a wofi baabi efifi mmeae ɛkɔtena baabi na wɔkɔpɛ adwuma no yɛn ha deɛ adwuma no wofi baabi momba na yɛgye wɔn de wɔn tena ase ama ayɛ mfasodeɛ ama yɛn wɔ ha bebree ɛne nti sɛ wopɛ dua ho ade a ɛkyerɛ amammerɛ wopɛ dua ho ade a ɛkyerɛ amammerɛ ase ankasa woba Aburikra village ha wobɛnya ebi yɛ nea ahemfo nneɔma ebi yɛ yɛn ankasa nso a yɛn nya ahemfo mpo yɛpɛ sɛ yɛde siesie yɛn dam yɛn adeɛ biara a yɛyɛ nso wɔ asekyerɛ nneɔma bi a yɛyɛ no ɛwɔ meaning ɛwɔ biribi a ɛkyerɛ nti sɛ wopɛ biribi a ɛkyerɛ wopɛ biribi a nkyerɛ aseɛ wɔ mu a ɛne yɛka ne sɛ bra Aburikra village na yɛ amammerɛ ho hia yɛn ankasa yɛn deɛ ho hia bra bɛtɔ biribi nea wode bɛsiesie wo ho waho siesie yi ɛno na obi hyia wa wobɛhu sɛ ampa woyɛ akanni woyɛ Ghanani na woyɛ akanni ampa waho siesie yi woba yɛ wɔ ntare ahorow a yɛn ankasa na yɛde yɛn nsa yɛ woba yɛ wɔn a wɔpam ɛwɔ ha woba wɔn a wɔn ankasa wɔsen nnua no yɛwɔ wɔ ha biribiara a yɛhia na yɛde aka yɛn amammerɛ no woba Aburikra village ha ebi wɔ ha enti bosumi yɛto nsafuro biara sɛ ɔmmra na ɔmmra ne yɛn nyinaa nka mmom na yɛmɛtɔ nea ɛyɛ yɛn ankasa yɛn dea ɛfiri sɛ yɛhia sɛ yɛn nneɔma a yɛn ayayɛ no ɛyɛ mfasode ma yɛn na obiara nso nya mu mfaso yɛn nneɔma bonyɛ den woba nea wopɛ ne biara wo nsa bɛka yɛto nsafuro biara sɛ mommra na yɛfie ɛne ne fie.
The cultural significance and ritual uses of Adinkra symbols in the Ghanaian society are vast and varied. These symbols are not just artistic expressions, but are deeply embedded in the social and spiritual life of the people. They serve as tools for communication, education, and cultural preservation. Whether used in rituals, everyday objects, or modern art,
I believe there is a little more to do. We've got the Institute of African Studies at the University of Ghana. The question is that having seen and identified the Adinkra symbols as bequeathed to us by our forefathers, so many years after University of Ghana was built in 1948, what has this institute done about Adinkra? I believe that by now they would have studied it and then added more to it, to expand it to become a language of its own. So it is just good for us to retain it, but at the same time, it is not good for us that to date we have not been able to expand it. We should be able to expand it. It is not too late for us to develop it more so that it becomes an alphabet of a sort for the people of Ghana to be transmitted to other parts of the world.
Adinkra symbols remain a powerful testament.
News are domestic steel production key to forex saving, says President Mahama as he inaugurates Phase 2 expansion of B5 Plus Limited Steel Manufacturing Plant. Cocoa farmers from the Western North region picket Cocoa Board demanding the release of outstanding payments. Alleged Mamprobi baby thief remanded into police custody for 2 weeks. Maize farmers in Bono East region grapple with unsold bags of maize. And Zimbabwe launches HIV prevention drug lenacapavir. Hello, good evening. It's News here on GBC News, your News and Governance channel, and GTV. You can also join us via Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I am Rahmatu Mahmoud Jawando, and Jonathan Intim is standing by to translate the news into sign language. Thanks for joining us. The Circuit Court at the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit has remanded into police custody for 2 weeks a woman accused of an alleged baby theft at the Mamprobi Hospital in Accra. Latifa Salifu, 33, was detained by the court despite pleas from her lawyer, Hamisu Mohammed, that she will avail herself before the court whenever she is invited. The lawyer also said the accused is not a flight risk and will not interfere with police and witness investigations. Prior to the decision of the Circuit Court to remand Latifa Salifu into police custody, her lawyer, Hamisu Mohammed, tried but failed to secure bail for his client. Mr. Mohammed told the court that the 33-year-old woman is a mother of 2 boys who are 7 and 10 years and cannot leave them and run away. His plea was, however, opposed by the prosecution led by Chief Inspector Opukwe Nieji, who prayed for Latifa Salifu to be remanded to allow them to complete investigations. He further argued that they do not believe the accused is the only engineer of the offense. Chief Inspector Opukwe Nieji explained that it didn't make sense for a mother who has 2 boys to go and still another boy at a hospital, adding that they believe it is a syndicate. After listening to the submissions from both parties, the presiding judge, Kwabna Kondria Obriyeboa, remanded the accused into police custody to appear in court on the 4th of March. The accused, a 33-year-old trader, has been in the news for the past few days for allegedly stealing a 4-day-old baby boy at the Mamprobi Hospital in Accra. She allegedly posed as a nurse at the facility and took the baby, who was unwell, away under the guise of administering medication to him, only to abscond with him. It took the swift intervention of the police to identify and arrest the mother of 2 with the alleged stolen baby. And now to the Upper West region, where the Regional Health Directorate has confirmed 5 deaths from meningitis within the region for the beginning of the year. This was disclosed by the Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Josephat Anana Winning-Nyangzol, during a meeting with the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoria, who was on an official visit to the region.
2026 meningitis season, I think the situation is not too bad. So from week 42, that is the middle of October, up to week 7, the week ending 15 February 2026, we've seen a total of 44 suspected cases across 8 districts. Currently, as we speak, there are 3 districts that are still silent. Lambuse, Sisala West, and then Dibia, Dafiama Buse, Issa. And out of the 44 suspected cases, 7 were confirmed in 5 districts. Nadoli being the west with 3 cases, and then 1 each in Jirapa, Nandom, Wau East, and then 1 municipal. So if you look at the case fatality rate as we speak, we're doing around 13.6%. DJ, if you look at the trend of the cases seen so far from week 42 up to week 7, you notice that from the week 42 to week 52, we were seeing an average of 1 suspected case per week. But you notice from week 1, the number of suspected cases sort of increased, an average of about 5 suspected cases per week.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba-Aquaria, has directed health research centers to conduct studies into why meningitis continue to cause fatalities in Ghana, a problem that has persisted for many years.
A century down the line, over 50 years down the line, the same time, the same year, every year, the same disease comes to kill us, and we don't know why, and we cannot stop it. I can understand. I've therefore charged the research centers, Navrongo Research Center, Kintampo Research Center, and partly the Dodua Research Center, to come together and tell us exactly why this is happening and how best can we get this halted. I do believe sincerely that elsewhere, in any part of the world besides our part, something would have been done. And digging into it, I even learned that there were moments where they could predict the kind of pathogen that would come. And if you can predict the kind of pathogen, then you can actually prepare yourself better. And here we are, we can't do that. So by next year, we should be able to predict how this thing is going to happen.
Away from the health segment and now to the presidency, where Ghana is poised to generate up to 300 million annually from processed metal exports, following the government's move to restrict the export of non-ferrous scrap. President John Mahama says the key policy is a key component of wider industrial transformation strategy aimed at strengthening local manufacturing, securing raw materials for domestic processes, and elevating the country's position on the global value chain. Speaking at the inauguration of B5 Plus Limited, ball mill and section mill manufacturing plant at Lakbilku in the Ningo Pram Municipal Assembly of the Greater Accra region, President Mahama highlighted that exporting raw scrap has long deprived local industries of vital inputs necessary for expanding production in the steel and metal fabrication.
Industrial capacity requires raw material security. Ghana generates substantial volumes of scrap metal annually. Through construction, demolition, vehicle imports, and industrial activity. For too long, a significant portion of that scrap had been exported in its raw form. By restricting non-ferrous scrap exports, the government ensures local processors have priority access to raw material for their production. This policy of banning non-ferrous scrap is expected to boost processed metal exports by $250 to $300 million annually. It will also create 5,000